I'm Jordan Graft. I'm the Executive Vice President of Payments for Triumph Bancorp.
And I'm John Shields, Chief Technology Officer for Triumph Business Capital.
So Triumph Bancorp is a publicly traded bank based in Dallas, Texas. We're very active in transportation. One of the areas we're active in is in TriumphPay. TriumphPay is a carrier payments platform for shippers and brokers. We help shippers and brokers pay their carriers faster, offer an integrated quick pay, and help shippers and brokers make more revenue off their quick pay program than they are today. We're also very active in factoring. We're one of the largest factoring companies in transportation. It's kind of ironic because our demonstration will have profound impacts on what factoring looks like going forward. So our demo includes a spot market load from rate confirmation to payment. So we're going to take you through all the breadcrumb trail of what we see as the potential of what a shared ledger standard would look like for a spot market load. So with that, before we get into it, our worldview about what blockchain and distributed ledgers are useful for in the B2B setting, cutting through the hype, it's simply this: a tool for systems integration. Right? This is something that we really want to communicate to the industry, that we believe that this should be used as a tool for systems integration to improve on our existing frameworks and standards like EDI and API. So you're going to see three interfaces in our demo. The first is the mobile app. This is just a generic mobile app that we built that represents the carrier. On the side, on the middle there, you see a visual representation of our ledger. It's Hyperledger Fabric. And on this other screen, this will be John Shields operating as a 3PL and the broker in this transaction. So with that, John Shields is going to create a rate confirmation and talk a little more about the interfaces.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jordan. So as Jordan said, we're going to be largely focused on leveraging blockchain and Hyperledger to facilitate technical systems integration. These two web apps here that we wrote are very, very simple. The juice here is in the middle, which is the running dialogue facilitating or exposing all of the conversations that are actually going on between these two systems, largely written in JavaScript, a little bit of Node, and some Ruby sprinkled in. The point is they're very simple integrations. They can be as sophisticated as replacing or leveraging your existing EDI or TMS, or as simple as if you can get it into Excel, you can get it into this ecosystem. So that's number one. Number two, we're also going to demonstrate the injection of behavior that's codified into this platform. It's a lot of words for smart contracts. We're going to be demonstrating some custom accessorials associated with this transaction, also injected into the blockchain. And then last but not least, we're going to wrap a bow around this and bind this to a world-class, robust payments platform. So from a systems integration perspective, that's two B2B integrations and one third-party payments integration. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create my first transaction here. I'm going to create a line haul in the amount of $1,500, and I'm going to send that out to my network. Yep. And we're going to send that out to our network.
So as that order is being processed, my mobile application now refreshes and is connected to the ledger and shows this order that John just created. So we're going to continue this breadcrumb trail with the pickup, and we're going to just do pickup and delivery. But obviously, you can contribute ELD data and put that into the ledger in the transaction flow. So I'm going to go ahead and deliver the order. And after that order is delivered, this is where we get to the fun part: invoicing and payments. So at Triumph, we invoice and receive payment from over 15,000 shippers and brokers in the industry. So we have a firsthand view at how disparate the systems and processes are. And what we see here is this opportunity to really set a standard for how we're going to do invoicing and payments with shared ledgers. So if I present this invoice, I'm going to add a claim for detention. We're going to make it a little more difficult. I'm going to add a 2-hour claim for $50 of detention, so a total of $100. I'm also going to add a bill of lading image. So notice what I'm not adding. I'm not adding the photo of my daughter. I'm not adding an image of the rate confirmation or the invoice. So think about that. We're already reducing the amount of images we're sharing. We don't need the rate confirmation because it was the first transaction in the ledger. We don't need an image of the invoice because it's presented directly on the ledger. So we're already reducing the amount of images that we're sharing back and forth with our trading partner, which is really, if anybody that operates in the industry today knows that there's so much time and effort wasted dealing with images. So now the invoice is presented. John's going to review it and approve it from his, I hope he's going to approve it, from his broker TMS.
All right, I can take a look at the order that was submitted. It's $1,500. I don't need to phone home to the mothership to validate any of the information here if I don't need to. It's encoded on the ledger. And there is a $100 detention, as you can see here in line item number 2. I can reject or approve it. In this case, I will go ahead and approve that invoice.
Thank you, John. So after that invoice is approved, I can refresh my screen, and now I see I have a quick pay option. So this is where TriumphPay kicks in and takes over. And because this broker is awesome is using TriumphPay, so I click on quick pay. I see my quick pay option from TriumphPay. I don't want to get paid today. I review how much my fees are, and so I go ahead and accept that quick pay. And that information is going to be put back on the ledger. So the next step from here is TriumphPay is going to continue to run the transfers, the actual payment processing of this, and it's going to put that information in that record. It's going to include the ACH reference number, when the ACH was transmitted, expected delivery date, if there was a reversal. Think about what that means for cash application, right? As large entities having to apply millions of dollars of payments, that's a problem. And so John went ahead, instead of waiting 30 days to pay this invoice, he went ahead and made the payment from the broker to TriumphPay to settle the account. So now we have here an entire spot tender load lifecycle from rate confirmation to payment. And there's real value here. I really want people to see the opportunity of what this can do for the industry. If we can codify a standard around something like this, around this process being developed on a shared ledger, the interface is not the important part. The interface could be 10.4, it could be MacroPoint, it could be McCloud or TMW, it doesn't matter. The value is that we are standardizing with the systems with how we talk to one another. I was speaking with Craig Harper, the COO of JB Hunt, and he referenced an example where they had a $500,000 payment dispute, where something like a shared ledger tool like that would prevent that. And so really as an industry, we have an opportunity to fundamentally change what invoicing and payments looks like. We waste hundreds of millions of dollars between factoring companies, brokers, shippers, and carriers trying to do this manually via email or EDI. So we are very excited about this. And also just TriumphPay, the underlying payments platform on here is very powerful. We process over $5 billion in payments in transportation annually. So come talk to us at our booth. We can talk to you about TriumphPay and show you this demo up close. Thank you for your time.